Hello, Instagram, and welcome to the Trish Lynn Show. Today we are talking about gaining exposure in your business. This is the first business episode I think that I have ever done on the show. So it'll be very, I like everything, a very good conversation. My ring light's giving me a hard time, so I'm just gonna play with the settings. That's a little bit better until I'm happy with it. Not so much there. It just changed all the lighting on me, but yeah, that's good. That works. I do see that our guest is on. She's waiting. It's not showing up for her that we are live, and I'm not sure why. There she is. There we go. This is our second try for the show, so hopefully we can get this working. I did accept this. There we go.
Hi,
Hello. Like, this is our second try for the show. My ring light changed this. I don't know what happened. When I was live the first time and you couldn't see me or see that I was on, my ring light was perfect. And then this time I come on and it's like, you can still see like this weird glow. I don't know what's going on, but I don't have really good lighting, so I can't change it.
and your skin looks flawless, by the
Thank
way.
you. Thank you. So I'm really excited to have this conversation. This is the first business conversation that I've actually had on the show.
Oh.
So excited to dive into that and all of the pieces. I would love for you to come on and let everyone know a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, and then we can just dive into like a good conversation about business and exposure, authenticity and being visible in the online space and all of the things.
Very important. Very important. Well, thanks so much, Trish, for having me on. And now let me go ahead and introduce myself to the audience. I'm Miss Kia Waters. I am a social media marketing expert, and I started my career in 1999. Yes, in the 1900s. It seems like a century ago. Yeah, I started off helping entrepreneurs start their businesses. This is before all the legal Zooms and things like that. And I was pretty young. I was in my early 20s, and I just knew it. Yeah, I just had to help people with their businesses. When you talk to an entrepreneur, and I'm an empath.
Yeah.
You see something in their eyes when they're talking about, the business, the brand they want to create, the service they want to provide. And it's just like you can feel their passion, and it just does something amazing to me. And just to be a part of that story just pours into me. I feel like it's my purpose. It's the reason why I'm here. So it just makes me want to wake up every day and do that. Help somebody make their business amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I do.
I love that because that's the exact same feeling that I have working with women who have been in toxic relationships, not only like the healing side of things and that whole aspect, because that's from my experience, but then hearing their passion about what they do and who they get to help. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to do this, and this. And it gets to be easy and you get to make an impact and
Right.
and all of the good things. Like, it's
Yes.
so many good pieces that get to come together. They get to see their success. They get to see the impact that they get to create from their story while building them up at the same time.
Yes, making them feel powerful, making their dreams come to fruition so they can see what they were capable of, what they were denied, but it's not lost, it's not gone, it's still there.
Exactly.
It's an amazing feeling to be a part of that
Yeah.
story.
I love how you just said that, what they were denied, because for me, when I started my business failed. I could not grow a business and take on clients while trying to survive in the relationship that I was in. And that's where I've brought these two pieces together, because I know from her firsthand experience, my nervous system, not going to happen. It was not going to happen. So I was denied that impact that I was trying to create and desperately working so hard to create. And now I get to do it. It's
Yes.
not gone. It's just even better and bigger than I could have ever imagined.
It's a sense of freedom.
Yeah.
It's a sense of freedom. And I feel that. Like I said, the empathic energy, and I feel your freedom. And I love that for you, Trish. You're helping a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of men, a lot of people in these toxic relationships. You're giving them resources, these stories, so they know they're not alone.
Yeah.
You're making such an impact. And I just want to give you your flowers
Thank
on that.
you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So how do you help when it comes to social media? Let's
Well,
dive into
in
that.
so many ways, but it's all about knowing the algorithm, and I'm gonna simplify it. It's all about the engagement. You have to engage at every level. And let me tell you something: Instagram Meta is always coming up with new ways to engage. And if you did it the way that they intend to start a business, I would say you have to be on the phone 100 times a day. You can't put it down. You have to go to sleep with it, everything. But of course, then there's people like me that makes your life much better by providing you the resources so that you can focus on your craft, your business, and we focus on that part for you. But what I do is I help with the content. It's all about the content and the engagement. I make sure that the content is likable. The content serves your message. It is engaging to the point where the person wants to sign up, buy your product, purchase your product. It has to reach them on an emotional level.
Yes. Yes. That
Very
so
important.
that is one of the biggest pieces when I help my clients with their so I focus on content marketing. And when I help my clients with their content, everyone's talking about pain points. I'm like, we don't want to talk about the pain points. Let's talk about the emotions that they are feeling in that moment. What are the emotions in that pain?
See?
Because they already know they have the pain, but maybe they don't associate the emotions that they're having. And what does that look
Mhm.
like on the other side after working with you? What are their emotions looking like then? Let's speak to those emotions.
Mhm.
And that hits everyone in the heart every time.
It's the psychology of marketing, because in order to get someone to be involved in anything that you're doing, community event, or purchasing your product, they have to feel something internally on their own that makes them feel like connected to that product. I need that product. I want that product. This product reminds me
Yeah.
of. Those things are so important to not only get a customer, but to maintain a customer over the years, to where they're at bars and things like that and events every year celebrating you, you for like, like for instance, sports, diehard soccer fans and fake, football fans. You can tell I'm not into sports,
I
but
mean, we
all
can
that, you know
talk
what I mean?
about hockey. We can talk
I'm
about the Toronto Maple
trying to
Leafs.
tell you. So you know what I mean about those diehard
Yes.
fans, and the hockey team is a business.
Yes.
Hmm.
The Toronto Maple Leafs get you to this point every single year where you think you got hope that they're going to make the playoffs and, well, make it further in the playoffs in the first round, and then they just let you down. But
Um,
they drag you that far that every year you keep going back and watching because you're like, this year they have a chance. And they let you
almost.
down.
But you're a part of that journey every step of the way.
Yep.
Every step of the way, it means something to you. When so and so did this, and when the other guy did that, you felt it. You're having a conversation on your off time. You're so passionate about it, and
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about: making that connection with your consumer,
Yeah.
and the people that you want to know and be a part of your professional journey, your business
Yeah.
journey. Not just
It's making
consumers; they're almost like family.
and that's it, and that's one part of business that I love, and like the marketing aspect
Mhm.
that I love. It's not the hustle and pushy sales. It's let's build authentic connections. Let's actually have conversations. For me,
Right.
if the conversation leads to just a conversation, I am good with that because
Mhm.
you might not need what I have to offer. But after me actually building that connection with you and having just an open conversation, you might know someone who needs what I have to offer,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that builds so much more than buy my stuff. Oh, you don't want to buy it? Okay, I'm gonna leave. Like, no, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
I have way too many conversations going on all the time that they just keep going down, and I love it. But at the same time, like, even this weekend I took a pause. I'm like, okay, I'm on my phone all of the time. Let's put it down. And two of my reels actually started going viral. And when I put my phone down, and we sit there and we wait and we like, oh, yes, it's gonna go, yes, it's gonna go, it doesn't go. soon as you put it away, it goes. And I'm like, oh, here we go. You learn what messaging is working, right?
Right. Right. I mean, way better than A/B testing. Nothing like that. It's all about giving that transparent, that genuine information. I feel like if it's not passion, if it doesn't come from the heart, it's frivolous
Yeah.
sales. And I feel like that's ancient. I feel like that's dead. Nowadays it's all about that emotional connection, that genuine, that people want to see. Reality shows are big because people want to see reality. People want to see the
Yeah.
real, and those documentaries and things like that. People want to see what really happened. It's all about fiction. It's all about the real thing that really happened that people can connect and align their lives and their
Yeah.
experiences with. So that's what I love about marketing, that connection.
Yeah, that's why I love this show because it's real people having real conversations about real things that happen in life. We're growing businesses. Yeah, I mean, the first live I just did that I stopped and then we came back. My daughter comes yelling up the stairs, "Mom!" I'm like, "Are you live yet?" "Yes, sweetie, I'm
Um,
live now."
of course,
But
naturally,
that's it. But that's part of, I have
it's
kids and
real.
I'm growing a business, right? Like I'm in my bedroom right now working. It's part
It's
of it.
authentic.
Yeah.
And people love that. That's why when people come on my show, Elite ATL Live, I give them the opportunity to not only talk about, their business, their service, their brand. That's major. Of
Yeah.
course, they want people to know about those things, and I'm going to provide them with that opportunity for content. But it's all about knowing who they are too as a person.
Yes.
Tell me about your journey, and they love to tell me about their journey as an entrepreneur, about the businesses that fail, about how many times they got swindled, trying to break into the industry, how much money they lost.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a part of their journey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and so
that's
many
it.
people can
Yeah.
learn from that.
I've invested thousands into my own coaching and mentorship and programs and things to use to grow my business, all of the
Mhm.
tools, all of the things. And now
Apps,
it's, yeah,
subscriptions. Yeah.
yeah. And now, it's helping someone who's coming into it be able to do it without all that hassle and the
Just
headache.
skip past
Yeah.
all that.
Here, you
Uh,
get to come skip all the bullshit that I went through, and we're gonna get right to the
right.
good stuff.
Right, exactly. And that's why this show is so important. I'm so glad that you thought of me. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
No, it's I love authenticity is such a big piece of growing in the online space, and they say, I forget how many, is it 7 to 10 touch points before someone buys from you?
Oh, I heard it's more than that, but I mean, at least, if
At
you're given
least,
an option of 10, take them
yeah.
all.
I think it's gone up because people aren't buying all of the pieces of your program anymore. They don't care what's in it. They do. They want to see that you can get your clients results, but they're buying you.
Yeah.
They buy you as a person. They buy that connection to you as the person who can support them. And being able to show up authentically here is what needs to be done to gain. So our topic is, gaining exposure. To gain exposure, you have to be you. You have to be authentic in who you are. And
Exactly.
it is such a big piece, especially online when our audiences are
Yeah,
smart.
yeah,
Buyers,
very much so.
yeah, buyers are smart. They are wanting deeper connections.
Hmm.
Everyone knows now. You can come. I'm being sold to right now in my Facebook DMs. I already know that because
Hmm.
this lady's not listening to a word I'm saying. I'm like, our conversation's already done, but I'll let you keep trying. Right?
Yeah, I
And
mean, you can't bypass it. Anybody who has something to sell, they're gonna try you. You're a potential
yeah,
prospect, and that's just how it is. If you're not a seller, you're a
yeah,
consumer. But it's not that cut and dry anymore.
no,
Like the old general store back in the 60s or whatever. It's not about, oh, there's only one place to go buy something. Now everywhere you go, somebody sells something else that somebody
yeah,
sells. So you have to show something else, and like you said, that authenticity, that
yeah,
transparency, that genuine, realistic behavior, that believability, that can believe in you, you feel supported by you, and then you showing up and actually doing the work and being there. Because trust me, if they buy the item and they find out that it's not worth it, you're not showing up for your
Yeah.
coaching sessions, and you're not following through with what you promised, there will be reviews, and that business will end fast.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, just like you said, our clients are smart.
They are super smart. And that exposure is so for someone who is maybe just starting out, or they've been online for a couple years, but they're not seeing movement, they're not seeing the engagement. Obviously content has to be the first piece you look at. Are you creating engaging content? What I've noticed, I do a lot of social media audits, and there's a lack of clarity.
Yeah, and their mission statement, their passion, their message.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's
always a
just
lot.
such a lack of
Mhm.
clarity, and I will go in and I'll be the first thing you got to do is clean this up. But for
Mhm.
someone who's coming in, say they've got to dial in their content a little bit better, but they want to gain the exposure.
Mhm.
What would you suggest?
Well, it depends on what their market is. Every niche market is different, and I definitely would suggest they scale down to a
Yes,
niche, and that's step one.
yeah,
Find your audience and make that audience an audience that will only think about you when they think about this. When they see this, when they think of this, they're thinking about you. So I start there. I help them scale down their market to their niche market, and then from there, it's all about creating content around it, educational content, comedy, resources. I mean, we can go down the list, but everything related to that topic. We want all the lovers
all of it.
in the world to love you for engaging and telling them and showing them and supporting them and their love for this. That is what I love to do, and I love finding out, because sometimes you find, and I've had this happen a couple times. My clients' service or their product won't line up with their mission. It'll
Yeah,
be like completely,
yep.
ironic, and I'm gonna give you an example without, giving too much, client information,
Mhm.
of course. But say, for instance, my client is all about selling acorns, you know, and come to find out their mission to sell these acorns has something to do with, supporting children and, sick children or something like that. Of course, we want to do anything for sick children, but the way they came up with that link, it's not necessarily giving the proceeds to
Yeah,
the children, but you know what I'm saying? And it's just like finding a way to make that link make
yeah,
sense so that they are fulfilled, the clients are fulfilled, and their consumers feel just enthralled
yeah.
with all the information. I mean, it's just that's what I love to do, and that's the key, honestly. If I give it all away because I love doing it over and over and over again, so
Yeah.
it's not even about the money for me.
I'm the exact same way. In my content audits, I am giving everyone, I'm like, this is exactly what you need to do so that you can start seeing. Because I always ask, do you have clients? I have 3 questions. I was just about to look because I've just been going over them. But I want to know: do you have clients right now? Are you at capacity? And there's one more I don't remember off the top of my head. But then I will go look at your page and look at the bio on Instagram.
Mhm.
I will go look at. I say, send me all of your social links. If they
Right.
aren't, they all have to be congruent. They all have to
Yes.
be the same thing. They can't be different things. There's so many things to go look at. I'm like, your search bar, but your sales page says this, but your search bar says this. Like it's got to go all together. And then your content.
You know a few things, Trish. I hear you. I might have to hire you for a couple things. When I get out of capacity again, I may have to give you a call because you know what you're talking about. And you're absolutely right. Their bios have to be congruent. Their content has to be in line with the same message. All of the above. You're absolutely right.
And one thing I've noticed, well, that's it. And then it's, can I, based on your profile, when I land on your page, do I know what you do, who you help, and how you help them?
And where to purchase your product or service.
That is usually just even more confusing because that's,
I tell them the first 3 pins, and I see you utilize that too, should tell them everything
yeah,
about you or give them that general idea of everything they need to know about
yeah.
you.
I don't sell on this page, but if someone comes to the page, I've pinned a few important episodes. And I still have a link that links back to my Eliminate Self Doubt workbook and my confidence bundle in the link in the bio
I
because
clicked it. I know. So I
those
mean,
are
they're very well set
yeah,
up.
those are the pieces that I talk about the most on the show. So I'm gonna have those support tools there for you if you want to go look at them. I don't
It's like,
sell them, and I am really bad for I forget to sell a lot because I just prefer having conversations. But it's there, so if anyone wants to eliminate self doubt or increase their confidence, there's a link in the bio with a workbook and a bundle that will help you do that. Um, but yeah, and then a lot of the times in the content, it's breaking it into pieces that are actually digestible
oh,
because
really?
a lot of the content that I go look at, it's like all of this stuff thrown into one. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, this is like 3 pieces of content shoved into one. No wonder you're not consistent because we can break this up, and then from that we can still expand on each piece. So
Mm-hmm. Make it simple.
yeah,
Step one, make it simple.
exactly. Let's simplify. And like you said, like you have to niche down. I love to say, when you speak to everyone, you reach no one.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's true.
yeah, and that's how it is on social media. So, if you want to gain exposure, let's narrow down who it is you talk to and work with, how you help them, and really just being able to dial in your messaging, the clarity.
And be consistent
Yeah, yeah,
because you don't, there's no one-offs in social media. There's no one-offs. I mean, either the way you go viral is people see your content and it is so just mind-blowing or resonated so much that they share and share and share, people watching it over and over and over, commenting and
yeah,
commenting and commenting and commenting. That's how you go viral. But outside of that, how you grow is by building
yeah.
relationships. You're commenting on their page. You're liking their pictures as well. When you DM them, you have a conversation that goes
Yes.
back and forth. That is going to make that person more likely to engage with you, more likely to share your content, more likely to suggest your internet
Yeah.
profile to visit or your service. That's the only way, is that building
Yeah.
that relationship.
Well, it's social media. It's about being social, right?
Social.
Everyone don't post and ghost. You have
Yeah.
to be social
Yeah.
on social
I
media.
like that
My
post and ghost. Don't post
No,
and
don't
ghost.
post and ghost. So I had kind of given up on Facebook for a while and I wasn't really showing up there. I was spending all of my time on Instagram. And it's
Mhm.
funny, I started showing up on Facebook again. My engagement has gone up by like 800%. And I've grown almost 200 followers in the last
Oh,
month
wow,
just
look at
from
that.
showing up. So consistency is such a huge piece,
It
right? Showing up
is.
consistently, the algorithm likes it, and everyone's
It
like, "Stupid
loves
algorithm."
it.
It loves it. I'm like, don't fight the algorithm. The algorithm on
Mhm.
Instagram right now sucks, but if you consistently show up, the algorithm recognizes, hey, she's consistently showing up.
Mhm.
She's consistently building conversations. Well, let's start
All right.
pushing her stuff out more.
And more new people start to see it that are outside your network,
Yeah.
and that's where the algorithm is your
Mm-hmm.
friend. Once you have that consistency, the algorithm becomes your friend because it's pushing your content out to more people who haven't seen it, who may like to see it because they're in your bubble, your niche
Yeah.
market. And then if your content is as engaging as it should be, especially if you're working with me, you're going to increase in sales and productivity, and you're going to increase in followers and comments and all those good things.
All the good things. It's definitely something that you want to hire someone to support you with.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to, you can sit, and I've watched, content for me was always something that came naturally. But being able to do that and help other people with it, you can see their struggle and where
Right.
they need the support. And social media is content. So for your business, if content's not your strong suit, work with someone who it is their strong suit because you're going to see those results in your business 10 times faster.
Yes, yes. And there's so many business business owners, business services out there that are struggling with amazing products, amazing service,
Yes.
amazing ideas, that we just don't know about because they're not putting that information to us. The algorithm isn't pushing that information to us. We just don't know. So, and that it breaks my heart because, I mean, it's like, oh my God, this man, I wish I would have known about this, because sometimes I go to these vendor events here in Atlanta. And I'm seeing vendors, they're making candles, they're making just products that I wouldn't even have thought would be an item. They made it and they're
Yeah.
selling it. And there you see how passionate they are. They're showing you their pamphlet, their brochure and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, why haven't I heard about you? And they're like, I'm not really on social media. And I'm instantly like, where's my card? I have to help this
Yeah.
person. Their product is
Yeah.
amazing.
And get it out there, get it seen by more people. Yeah, I work with, so the shirt I'm wearing is Canoe and Lake. She is a local clothing company to me. I've done a few photo shoots with her and she's incredible. I just learned that Lauren ships to the US because I'm like, all of my followers are in the States. Do you, like,
Mhm.
I don't promote it and share enough, even though I'm an ambassador for her clothing line because I never actually asked if she shipped to the States. And now that I know she does, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can start sharing this so much more and, getting it out there. And it's such a good feeling to be able to do those things because you
Yeah.
see these, and like the brand for me resonates so much. A lot of her clothing says she
Oh, wow.
paddled her own canoe. I think the back of the shirt,
Oh,
yeah, I
is this
paddled,
something powerful?
yeah, it says I paddled my own canoe, I believe.
I I'm paddling my own canoe
Live,
and lived
happily ever
happily
after.
at the end. Okay. Oh, I know that's right. That's empowering.
It
Very
is.
strong. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
such an
confidence
empowering.
building sweatshirt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to make it simple for people to help you because you probably would have been telling people a long time ago had you known that she sold in the States, but now everybody's gonna know.
Yeah. And I'm like, Lauren, every time I go out, someone will ask me about her clothing brand. So I'm like, I need business cards because I
Right.
keep telling everyone. But it's the power of sharing and
Mm-hmm. Sharing
social
that
media.
information.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
social media gives us these free platforms where we get to come on and share and reach so many people around the world. It is incredible.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like back in the 80s, 90s, we didn't have this type of access to other people in other countries. And we met from a mutual friend in Australia. Isn't that something? We didn't have access to that in the 90s, back in the
No,
rotary phone
no.
days.
But
So,
that's it. I know the connections that we get to make
mhm.
are on social media, and you never know where those connections are going to lead you, right? That's the beauty thing.
It's
So
amazing.
when we talk about exposure in business as well, networking is such an important tool
Hmm.
because you never know who you're going to meet
Hmm.
along the
That's
way.
true.
Yeah.
I actually went to a networking event and came across an amazing young woman. Her name is Sarah Ratcliffe, and her and she does marketing as well, but she does more on the website side. Helping make it more visible on the internet. The SEO, the meta description, backlinks, blog postings, and things like
Yeah.
that. She's amazing at what she does. And when I say she makes websites, I'm not talking GoDaddy, honey. They are interactive and they are super high quality. And I'm just like blown away at, her brain that could make this amazing thing. I love creative people. But her and I got together and we actually are going to be merging. I'm going to be working together with her at Altior Virtual Marketing, and I'm going to be handling the social media portion of the marketing firm. So we're going to be partnering up. That's Altior Virtual Marketing. Yeah,
That's awesome. And that's just from a networking event.
just
I
like that.
love it. I absolutely love
Yeah,
it.
we like completed each other's yin and
Yeah,
yang, just like that.
that's so amazing. And you never
Mhm.
know where these connections are, where you're going to meet them. And it's your content could be the piece that just explodes everything. Like one piece of content can literally explode everything for you in who it reaches, how it reaches them, their perception of how they take in that piece of content. You just never know,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. That is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. It's just getting my clients on the right track in that line of thinking, because it's very much common for a business owner to think,
Yeah,
sales, and thinking emotional connection is definitely not what they're thinking about. So getting them in that mindset, thinking about connecting with their prospects in a different
yeah,
way other than the
yeah,
transactional way, it is my purpose initially. It's an
yeah,
educational thing. I have to educate them first, and then we start moving, because they're gonna be like, wait a minute, what does this have to do with that? And I'm like, no, 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 sit down, let me tell you.
yeah.
You know.
And I love it because for me, the women that come into my world, it's getting them to look at who they are and
Hmm.
rebuilding their confidence in themselves after toxic relationships. These are the pieces you've gone through. Who are you?
Right. Oh, and
So
then you have to rebuild yourself after
they
after
have to
that, for
rebuild
sure.
themselves, so that like you have to switch from the transactional mindset to connecting to the emotions, and I have to get them to realize the shit they bring to the table, because
Mm.
it's such an important piece. And I watch women sell themselves short. They don't charge for their services, or they don't charge enough for their services, or they have the imposter syndrome piece is huge. And it's me, not only do we get to look at simple strategies, because in the grand scheme of things for them the strategy is such a small piece. We've got to build up who they are.
Mm.
We've got to let
Mm.
them see what they bring to the table, that
Mm.
they're not failures. They've got it. They know. I had to write this out. I have 10 years of sales experience, and I kept saying I don't sell. I'm like, but I have sales experience. What's going
Mm.
on? And I still just said it on the show earlier. I said I don't sell. I'm like, wait a second. I have the experience to do this. And it's remembering that, hey, I have the experience to do this.
Right. Right. It's I mean, abuse can just devastate you, decimate you to nothing, so that reignition of your self
Yeah.
worth and building it back up again and reminding yourself, of all the things you've overcome, all of your achievements, all that you've poured into other people, and that you actually deserve good things to
Yeah.
happen to you, is a foreign thought, initially, when you're in that mindset. So it does take people like you, and resources and mental health
Yeah.
providers and good girlfriends and supporters in the
Exactly.
family,
It
just to
takes
bring them back.
yeah, a whole support system, looking into the deeper pieces. I had a client today, and I will share this without mentioning names, but she's been divorced twice now. She's like, I'm a failure. I'm like, no, you were in toxic situations in both of those marriages. That's not on you. Their behavior is on them. You've done what you need to do now, and now we get to see you thrive. And
Right.
it was, I'm like, it's the shifting the mindset piece so quickly,
Right.
because that's you can't be seen online if you consider yourself a failure. You're losing before you even get started.
You don't
No.
even believe in yourself.
So
How can
it's
anybody else believe in you?
exactly. So I love that we do the same thing, but in like two totally different ways. I love it.
Mhm.
I love, you can see I started talking about the marketing side of
I
things,
loved
and
it.
I go nerd right into it, and I love it. But then I
Ah!
talk about the mindset side of things, and I go that way as well, and I love both.
Mhm.
This has been a really good conversation. I loved it.
I'm enjoying myself as well, Trish. Honestly, like just having this dialogue to open the door to, because there's so many of your watchers, subscribers, and fans, I'm sure, that are going to watch this and think about where they started, in these toxic relationships at the end. And I say started, even though the relationship ended, they're starting at the beginning, thinking about where they're starting. Hopefully they're not there now, but if they are, hopefully this video will help them to see that, you know, they can expand and they can reignite that confidence, that self-worth. We gave them resources, and I'm living proof myself. You're living proof that there's life after toxic relationships and abuse.
Yeah,
So, it's just being a part of that, being able to pour into those people that I don't even know, that may learn a little something just from watching this video today. Just I got goosebumps.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
we all get to start it, you're not alone. My biggest message when I talk about the toxic side of things and being on the other side. You feel alone. And
Hmm.
my biggest message for this show 90% of the time is you are not alone. Reach out because we are here to support you no matter what. I don't care at what point, if you are in it, if you are just out of it, if you are years out of it. I am here to support you no
Right.
matter what and help you see a way forward if you can't see it for yourself.
And I want to add a caveat to that because you're absolutely right. They do need to reach out and for other people to support them. They can't do it alone because it's okay to ask for help. But as a caveat, I want to acknowledge that we see and understand that there is shame that comes with, being duped and abused and lied to and manipulated. And we understand that, and we are not holding any of that against you. It's not your fault. You are a victim, and just because
I
you are a victim now doesn't mean you have to be a victim forever.
exactly. I felt like that. I felt like I'm not even sure the words. I stayed for so long and I'm like, holy shit, I was an idiot. I felt like an idiot for staying for so long.
Yeah.
But you, we all have our reasons for doing it. And that's for us. Yes, in those situations, we were the victim.
Mhm.
There is a lot of different mindset pieces, that go into abuse. And it's a chemical
Mhm.
reaction in your brains. But now we're out. We don't have to be the victim anymore. And it's
At all.
decide who we get to be moving forward, and that's the best part.
It
But for
is.
anyone that does reach, you're not alone, you're not stuck, and if you can't see it yourself, get the support from someone outside of your circle
Mhm.
who can see it and share what they see with you, because in life, in business, in marketing, when you are so close to the problem,
Mhm.
you can't see the
At
problem.
all. No. I gave my closest friend, I mean, she's like my sister. I gave her all the responsibility. I gave her all the power to be able to veto things in my life, especially when it comes to, relationships with the opposite sex. I said I need to run it by you moving forward because, sister, I don't trust myself, based on, what happened to me. And, it's one of those things where, I didn't do anything. I'm not the aggressor, but if anything, I was prey, or I felt like prey. So, it's definitely one of those things where you need to. It's definitely there's no other way but to reach out to someone else because being in your own head with the abuse in the abusive environment is not going to help you to become healthy, to get stronger, and to grow out of that situation.
And your way of a lot of the pieces is trusting yourself again, and you just said it. You now have someone that you run everything by to help you build that trust with yourself, because when you don't trust yourself in your personal life, you doubt yourself and you question yourself with your business and all of the moves along the way. So it's those building blocks of you and your identity and all of those pieces, regaining your confidence, regaining your worth, regaining that trust with yourself. I bought a car in the beginning of June and I doubted myself buying a car because it was the first car that I had bought on my own. And my girlfriend, I messaged her, I'm like, I don't know if this is the right thing. She's like, because you've never been allowed to make that decision.
Mm. She had to remind you where that unrealistic, doubt was coming from,
Yeah.
to make you look at it from another perspective,
Yeah.
to see through it, that it was something that was unjust, unreal. It was a product of PTSD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a real thing. So for anyone who is watching and this is resonating with, know that you're not alone. I know we're off the topic of business, but all of it still translates back into your business.
Mhm.
Because when you are your brand, when you are the face of your brand and you are the one making the decisions, you got to trust yourself with the decisions that you're making. You have to trust yourself with the content that you are posting on social
Mhm.
media and actually saying the things that you want to say without
Right.
a fear of holding back. That was a conversation I had with a client today as well. She's like, I don't say what I want to say. I'm like, when it comes to your content, I want you to just start writing everything out. Write it all out. You're not writing it out as content. Write it out. Next week when we talk again, we're going to go over everything you wrote. And we're
Right.
going to see what we can use, because you're not showing up as you on
Mm-hmm.
your socials because you're afraid of what you actually want to say. Like, so everything that you want to say, if you're out, she owns a couple businesses. I'm like, if you're out doing something and something comes through, write it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to reconvene and look at everything that you really want to say and translate it into a way that we can get onto social media, on your content, in a way that feels good for you to say it.
Mm-hmm. Helping her to find her authentic
Yes.
voice.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like she needs that
Yeah.
tool to get there, you know. Sometimes when you go through things, you fear what other people may say that you are going to, from what you did or what how they're going to take it,
Yeah.
and and that's a product of trauma,
Yes.
because when you're standing in your own right, you're comfortable. If you do something, how they feel about it, you realize that that's their problem, their
Yeah.
opinion. It's not on
Not
you
on you.
because you did. Yeah, it's not on you. You did what you wanted to do because that's what you wanted to do. And not to say it was bad, but it made this
Yeah.
person feel a certain way, and that's not your business,
Nope.
But as a sign of trauma, you feel like walled in, and you don't want to poke this bear, you don't want to do that. And poking the bear could just be walking to your leasing office, or going to McDonald's. They're going
Yeah.
to be upset with me because I did this, or somebody's going to say something, and then that's when you become a prisoner in your own mind.
Yeah. And two things. One, someone is always going to have a problem with something you do, no matter what. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
Someone has a problem with it. And two, people only see things from their level of perception. So your level of perception could be seeing it from this completely different sphere that they are seeing it from. And that's just what happens. And if the haters come out, it means you're pushing buttons and saying the things you actually want to say. And for me, I find it a good sign. I've run a couple episodes and I've ended up with messages saying this person's lying, they're a fraud, this and that. I'm like,
Oh my
okay, well, I enjoyed the
goodness.
conversation, so I don't really care what you have to say. Like, oh wow, we get to do these things and share what we really want to say. And I mean, that's the power of social media. We don't have to be filtered. We filter ourselves. We don't have to be filtered.
Mhm.
And then
It's up to the creator to have their voice and to define what that voice it means to them.
yeah,
Because there's some people say, you know what, I'm authentic, I know who I am, but when I'm in social mode, I'm going to present and reflect this because this is my brand, and that's
yeah,
okay. You're doing it intentionally,
yeah,
intentionally. So it's all about being comfortable at the end of the day.
yeah.
And I think that's a very good tool that you created for your client.
Yeah, and it's still bringing her into the brand because we are
Mhm.
still separate from our brand, right?
Mhm.
But we're still infusing ourselves into our brand as a
Mhm.
personal brand. That's
Mhm.
that's the biggest piece. And I actually laid in bed last night and I'm like, how do I want this to be? How do
Mhm.
I want this to look? How do I
Mhm.
want the Trish Lynn
Mhm.
to be showing up every day? Not just for my business, but for me, for my kids, for my life moving forward. I move in a week. I move Friday. I move in 4 days. And, it's starting a next chapter of my life
Yeah.
for me, not only in my life, but for my business as well. Because we're moving from this house this house was a survival place for me to get out, rebuild that foundation.
Congratulations, Trish.
Thank
I don't mean to
you.
cut you off, but I just want to go ahead and congratulate you on that. I understand as much as anyone else who's been through trauma, that place that you're moving from right now. And I just want to say congratulations to you for being at that point of growth. It means so much, and I'm so proud of
Well,
you.
I like, so this is, this was a survival. I'm making a piece of content on it. So I actually wrote this out, but the next house is thriving. That's where I get to start to thrive. And I am so excited for that because we get to grow and we have to start somewhere. I made that decision to move here, to get out, get my foundation underneath me. And now I get to take that with me and I get to thrive. But it's asking those hard questions. Who do I want to be?
Yes. Yes.
And then, for my brand, who do I want to be for the brand that I'm creating? I've gone through so much fear in showing up here with the show and sharing my experiences. And at one point, I finally said, I'm like, I have to. The fear can't win because I have such a bigger
Right.
message to share and such bigger things to do, and so many women to help
Right.
that that fear just kept shrinking and shrinking.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, if he doesn't like the events that I want to share about, it's not really my problem. He shouldn't have been a part of them.
And fear is something that you feel. It's not something that should stop you.
No. So it's been, it's bringing that to my audience, bringing that to my clients, and helping them see this other side of everything that is.
That's $1 million message, because a lot of people think fear is some type of warning to stop in their tracks, and it's not. It's an emotion, it's a feeling, it's a release of neurotransmitters and hormones, but it's not supposed to stop you from your greatness,
No.
your journey.
No, I was in a mastermind last summer and I was talking about the fear that was coming up then. And then I wasn't able to share to the extent that I'm sharing now. Like now I don't hold anything back, but last summer I couldn't do it. And one of the ladies in the mastermind said, she's like, follow the fear. She does human design, and she was looking at my chart. She's like, you are meant to follow that fear. So whatever scares you is where you're meant to go. I'm like, oh shit, that's great. Thanks. That's a lot of fun. But we're doing it. And
yeah, and look at you now. You're in a position to thrive.
Yeah.
And it took those steps. It took every last one of those steps for you to get where you are now. Yeah.
So for anyone who is watching, let this be, as I don't want to say a story, but a stepping stone for you to move off of and see that you're not alone and there is greatness on the other side. Yes, and we get to have our businesses online with the financial freedom, the time freedom, all of the pieces that we need. It's at our fingertips now, and we get to do it, and we get to have fun with it.
Very much so. Yeah, there is life after trauma, and guess what? So much after that is anything that you can think of. Everything that you wanted to be when you were a little boy, little girl, you can do and be all those things. And we have all the information to get there right there at our fingertips on Google, on Chat GPT. There's so many resources at the tip of your fingertips to let you figure out what your plan is to get to everything you ever wanted.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yes.
And if you want the support, you've got us to help you with that. So on that note, is there anything you would like to leave the audience with?
Well, Trish, it's been a pleasure being on your show today and just being able to talk about myself, and my inner purpose and passion with helping entrepreneurs and just being a survivor myself. I appreciate you providing me that platform and pouring into me today. So thank you, Trish.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everyone who joined us and said hi. I'm saying hi to all of you at once because I have seen the comments come in. I am going to go back through and I will send you a message or respond to your comments. But thank you for everyone who joined us today. If you are catching the show on the replay, still say hi. Let us know that you've caught the show. Give us the hearts. Give us the likes. Share this for anyone who may need to see this episode. And thank you all so much for joining us. And thank you for coming on the show. I have absolutely loved this conversation.
Thank you, Trish. I loved it too. Bye, guys.
Bye.